In this tutorial, we're going to be combining two of our learned solving equation methods. We're going to factor quadratic equations and take these factored equations and solve them by using the square roots method. All right, so let's get into it with this example 1. We have x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 25. To factor, we only have to pay attention to the left-hand side of the equation. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a border to separate the left-hand side from the right-hand side. And I'm going to factor x squared plus 4x plus 4. If we factor this just quickly off to the side, we need to find numbers that are going to multiply to get positive 4, but when you add them, you also get positive 4. So those two numbers for us are going to be positive 2 and positive 2, so we get x plus 2 times x plus 2. All right, we have our perfect square, and that is equal to 25. All right, if you look at x plus 2 times x plus 2, this is technically x plus 2 squared. Since we're in a quadratic world and we're going to be talking about completing a square in a second, we got to make sure that we understand that we want to write it with an exponent of 2. All right, and now that we have factored, we have a problem that we can use our square root method on. So go ahead and take the square root of both sides. Okay, when we take the square root of the left-hand side, all we're left with is a x plus 2. And remember, we have two options when we take the square root of 25. We can get 5 or negative 5. So that leaves us with two equations to solve. So one of my equations that I'm going to solve is going to be x plus 2 equals 5. And then the other equation that I'm going to solve is going to be x plus 2 equals negative 5. Solving the equation on the left-hand side, I get x equals 3 as a solution. And solving the equation on the right-hand side, I get x equals negative 7 as a solution. So my options for solutions for this quadratic equation is x equals 3 or x equals negative 7. All right, let's try another one. This time we have the equation x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 1. So once again, if we're going to first solve by factoring, we only pay attention to this left-hand side here. So let's factor x squared plus 6x plus 9. So if you come and you draw your x to help you organize your multiples, you need to find numbers that are going to multiply to get 9. But when you add them up, you're going to get a positive 6. So for us, that looks like 3 and 3. So when we write on the left-hand side, we get x plus 3 times x plus 3, and the equal 1 stays the same. Okay, we just made note that we want to write this to help us actually take the square root method. So we're going to write this as x plus 3 squared is equal to 1. This can be solved by using the square root method, so go ahead and take the square root of both sides. Taking the square root of the left, you get x plus 3 remaining. Remember, the square root and the square are inverse, so they will cancel. And that is equal to, there's two ways that you can, two numbers that you can square to get 1. Namely, positive 1 or negative 1. So let's rewrite that as two equations. We got x plus 3 equals 1 as an equation that we have to solve. And then I have x plus 3 equals negative 1 as an equation I have to solve. Solving my first equation, I obtain a solution of x equals negative 2. Solving my second equation, I obtain a solution of x equals negative 4. So my options are x can be equal to negative 2 or x can be equal to negative 4.